Hi, my name's Gabrielle, and I'm finishing up my last few BSN courses before I graduate in May. So, as we all know, before actually getting into nursing school, we're required to do certain courses prior, such as like economics, statistics, history, music, communications, all those kind of courses. And what we don't really realize during the time is that those courses aren't just giving us. A lot of times people think that those courses are just information that we don't need and it's not going to do anything for us. But now, looking back on it, now that I'm about to graduate, I do realize that it has opened my eyes up open to a lot more than just the nursing field, and it's kind of given me a background information to everything. And those courses really just give us a background knowledge that prepares us for life. Um, for me personally, those classes have made me more well-rounded and kind of think in a different perspective. And as nurses, we're taught to be culturally competent nurses, um, and this helps us be culturally competent in aspects such as music, literature, religion, things like that. It's also opened my eyes, like I said, more to just more fields other than nursing. I feel like in nursing school, we're obviously just focusing on the nursing aspect and how everything works through the body, but we don't really, we don't talk about any of the other courses anymore at that point once we're in nursing school. So this is really just kind of giving me a background knowledge um, and allowing me to have that knowledge that's not just nursing. And then it's also challenged me to critically think, I believe, and if I don't know something, I will go and research it, and I feel like these classes have is what kind of pushed me to start doing that, because a lot of these classes I wasn't, like, for example, like economics, I didn't really know much about that kind of stuff, so it kind of forced me to go out and do that research whenever I didn't know something, and I found myself continuing to do that since. And in my opinion, there's always something new to be learned, no matter how smart you are, how much you know about a certain subject. No one ever will know everything. Um, and no matter how smart you are, you're just never gonna. That's just not how it works. And I plan on continuing my research knowledge to find evidence-based practice on patient quality care. Because as we know, these types of research are constantly changing. So being in the nursing field, it's important to keep up with those evidence-based practice education so that we can use that in our field of nursing. I also plan to continue to improve myself as a nurse, or possibly further my degree one day, either be nurse practitioner or something else along those lines. And in order to do that, I would have to continue education. Um, as nurses, we're all servant leaders to patients, to their families, to our coworkers, and even to ourselves. Um, to patients, we're their advocates. We're the people that stand up for them whenever we realize or notice something is going wrong, or something's not right, something's not adding up, something's not very beneficial for them. We're the ones that often are the ones that realize that and advocate for them. To family members, we're the ones comforting them when their family members are in the hospital and sick. We're offering our support to them when they're in this vulnerable time, um, and just kind of assuring them that we're taking as best care as we can to their loved ones and for them to trust us. To my peers and my coworkers, I'm serving them as a team member um, and offering myself to assist them whenever they need help, and kind of vice versa. They do the same for me, and we're both just looking out kind of for each other's safety, and yeah. And then to myself, um, obviously, along with helping others, we need to also take the time to help ourselves, take care of ourselves. And as nurses, I feel like this is something that we often forget, especially while we're on the floor. We forget to eat, we forget to go to the bathroom, and it's kind of just things like that. And so sometimes it's important for me to be a servant leader towards myself, is to realize that I also need to take time and relax, um, and take care of myself so that I can continue taking care of others and serving others. One thing since I've been working in the hospital that I've always known but never, I guess, really known fully is that no matter what, whether people are religious or not, spirituality often plays a huge role in patient care and patients in the hospital. Um, this has opened my eyes to addressing not only the health needs of my patients, but also their spiritual needs. Whenever I enter into a patient's room, I try to put myself in their shoes and think about how much fear and anxiety and mixed emotions that they're probably having that's going through their heads as they're sitting in those empty hospital rooms. And I found by doing this that sometimes all the patients want is you to address their spiritual concerns, not always just focus on their health concerns. Sometimes their main priority is spiritual, such as like the patients who are DNR, and things like that. They're kind of at the point of their life where they're just focused on what's going to happen after. And I think as nurses and just healthcare workers in general, we don't really focus on that. We focus on just getting them better. But sometimes all we really can do for a patient is, it goes back to kind of advocating for the patients. And it's our responsibility to address the concerns that they um, are wanting. And sometimes all that is spiritual. Yeah. So that's how I think that the liberal arts courses helped a lot throughout before getting into nursing school. And I think it just gives the background knowledge to help everyone prepare for life and